Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray, and you know what we're going to talk about today. Is that not? Oh, that's music to my ears. That makes me feel so young again, you know, because the kid doing that over there, you know, today's his birthday, so we ought to let him play with his toys. And, of course, this is first Saturday, but it's also an annual turkey show. And
you could say it. This is your post-April Fool's Day show.
Well, don't go into that yet. That's true. that is true. We're the day after April Fools, but that is Steve Turpin. Playing that music with the box call. I wonder what kind of box call is he? I wonder who makes that box call.
Maybe a Turpin box.
It might be a Turpin box.
I thought it was a KFC box over.
No. That's the man next to him over there. Gene Smith. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning. How's everybody?
How you like that? We got Turpin in the studio. We got Brother Dave, the Daryl and Daryl show with Dave Gabbard and Gene Smith, co-host. And one of my favorite shows of the year. I wished I could be out there this morning. I can't. Turpin is heading out after the show for his birthday celebration. You know, he does this every year. Of course, you know, he told me how old he was, but we could reverse those. We'll just say he's 35 and let y'all reverse the numbers. All right, Steve, opening day, what does it mean to you, buddy?
Special.
It is, isn't it?
I've been looking forward to this ever since it closed.
It did, yeah. And when it was over, you're ready to go again,
That's
right?
right.
And you're going to tell us a general area that you might be this morning?
Yeah, I'm actually my lease is about 3.5 hours from here.
Okay.
And so I'm going to book it, and I'm up near Rutherford County.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because there is some changes out there, folks. Some of you can't hunt this morning. If you're out there, you got to check that turkey guide, because there are some things in West Tennessee where you can't be, okay? And know those rules as we talk today, because this whole show is gone to the birds.
Gone to the birds.
Gone to the birds, the gobble.
Kind of a foul show.
It's a foul show. It's always one of my foul shows.
No foul language.
No foul language unless you do it. But Steve Turpin is in studio. Normally we would have some other ones in here, but it's okay. Steve's in here to offer his expertise. The Turpin game calls have been in business for how many years, Steve?
It's over 120 years.
Over 120 years. They've made 4 or 5 calls since then.
No.
Okay,
I mean, you know, when it started.
Steve has kept that tradition going, and we're going to talk to him in just a minute about that. But I want to give you a layout, because we're going to be all over the turkey world this morning. We're going to switch over to Keith Hickman up at Paris Landing State Park, the golf pro up there, but also loves turkey hunting. He's part of a group that I've been a part of since it started. Too bad COVID got it again this year with the Hunting for a Cure youth turkey hunt was canceled. We're going to talk to him. How about Russell Ginn? Russell's normally in the studio, but he's on his way to Springfield, Missouri for the big World's Fair up at Bass Pro Shops. Russell B., and he's now part of the Woodhaven group. Oh, excuse me. I knew I'd say that. Rolling Thunder. Get that back, Spence Hoffer. Don't get me there. Rolling Thunder, now in Summerville, Tennessee. And then we got a surprise guest. We're going to wait a little bit on that at 6:30. And then we'll talk to the first couple of I guess you call them, the first couple of turkey hunting is Jim Spencer and his wife, Jill Easton. They're on the road coming back from Texas. Then we're going to talk to Ron Jolly, the man himself, Jolly on turkeys for tomorrow. Mike Giles, he doesn't need one of your calls, Steve. You know,
He does have one of my Yelpers and has killed turkeys with it.
See there, he hadn't told me that, but now it's out. Now everything he does by his mouth. So we'll talk to Mike, and then close out the show with a couple of guys from Woodhaven calls. Duke Turnage, a good friend from up Dyersburg Way, who is now with Woodhaven, and of course the legendary Billy Yargus. But I got a lot of things going on in my life. Some of you folks know that. I'm dealing with cancer. I'm getting ready to start my first chemo treatment very soon. And I've had nothing but positive. Thank you, folks out there, for your emails, your texts, your calls. It's going to be different once I get this journey, but I know who's in control of my life.
Amen.
And God's got this all before I ever. I just found out about it not long ago, but God's knew it since I was born. So, but appreciate that. But so glad to have Steve in. So, Steve, who better to roll this show off than Turpin Game Calls? Because you and your family. Talk about the history of this in this opening segment.
Well, it started when my great uncle was Tom Turpin.
Turpin.
He started making calls around 1899. Could have been a few years before, but that's a rough estimate.
Okay, that's before me.
And then he made calls with his younger brother, Inman Turpin, who was my grandfather.
Okay, all right.
And so once they had passed away, my dad took over in 1959. And then he made the calls, and then I showed an aptitude for tuning calls at a young age.
Yes, you did.
So I started tuning them and then working with him, showing me what to do, and then we made them together for quite a while. And then he finally had a debilitating stroke in 2000, which ended his career.
Okay, yeah.
And passed away a few years later. But been in it a long time. I cannot remember the first time I ever picked up a turkey call.
And I know you've got a box call over there. Do you have a Yelper?
I do.
You guys are really known. So let's hear the music. Listen to that. I know the truck driver's driving down I-55 right now says, did you hear what I just heard there?
Yeah.
Hey, good buddy, there's something going on the radio on AM 790, He brought that Yelper out, and you guys are famous for the Yelper.
Yeah, and, a lot of people are starting making them. They refer to them. They used to be known for the style of call as a Turpin Yelper.
Yes, yeah, they were.
Now they just refer to them as a generic trumpet call.
Trumpet call.
But we are the originals, and basically all the ones that are being made are just a variation on a theme. So
yes.
Change the outside look, change the internals. It's basically just a slight modification.
I look
of
at,
ours.
I've got in my office 3 calls that I just, I don't use. And I just like to look at them all the time. And, of course, one is one of your Turpin Yelpers that you gave me, and it sits there. And, of course, another one is my old Lynch box call that I've had forever. And then, of course, I have the one by the late Robert Cliff.
The last call.
The last call.
Yeah.
And, I've never mastered the Yelper, even though I did play the trumpet for 13 years, and my lips are still there. But it takes some getting used to, because I don't use a mouth call because I gag, and,
I didn't
Will Primos even made me my own Larry Ray mouth call. But the Yelper to me it's so authentic sounding. I mean, it's just
maybe you're not practicing it at the right time.
Only when my wife is not there.
That's what I was fixing to say. No, you need to get up about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I do that. I do that. At my age,
your wife will love you for it.
At my age, I am up at 2 or 3 in the morning several times. But it does. It's such a unique thing, and to see that.
And it sounds a lot better in the woods when it's bouncing out.
Well,
through
sure,
the trees.
yeah,
we I tell everybody I'm a turkey hunter first and foremost, and we truthfully we kill a lot of turkeys. We call them up with the Yelpers and the box calls.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't use a mouth call, or occasionally we'll
why do it?
Do some slates, but it's what I grew up hunting with. And it's kind of, if it isn't broke, don't try to fix it. I mean, it's proven success.
Wouldn't you say that's the original? I mean, don't you think?
Oh yeah,
whatever it was 200 years ago that they were picking up these wishbones or whatever it might be.
Well, it originated from a wing bone from an Indian.
There you go.
They were probably sucking the marrow out of a wing bone, getting the last bit of nutrition.
Yeah.
And made it sound like a turkey.
Yeah.
And so that went from making them out of wing bones to a man named Charles Jordan perfected the Jordan Yelper, which is cane.
Yeah.
Or cane and wing bone.
Uh-huh.
And so my Uncle Tom took it a step further, because cane and wing bones, everyone is different the way God makes it. So the bones
Right.
are bigger, the holes
sure,
bigger,
yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
So you get inconsistent sounds. So a trumpet call is basically a wing bone of controlled dimensions.
Right.
And so
You think he doesn't know this? I mean,
you get a
he's not looking at notes over there, is he?
No,
I mean, this is-
no.
I'm
You
telling
get a
I'm
consistent
telling you
sound.
everything.
You do get a consistent sound, don't you?
Yeah, as long as everything's cut to spec, it's you're gonna, it's the sound that you want.
But you have to practice. I mean, this is not.
Yeah, and I tell everybody, I said, some people pick it up real easily.
Yes.
Some people struggle at first. And I had people that were honestly pretty rough when they first started out, and are as good as anybody in the country now. But the ones we find out that do the best on it starting out are kids.
Our kids.
Because they just listen to you and they do what they tell you to instead of coming in with preconceived notions.
Exactly.
Oh, this is too hard. This is
right.
So I've got on my Facebook page right now, the customer just bought a call and he sent me a video of his 2-year-old.
Of his 2-year-old.
2-year-old
All
calling
right.
and made several good notes on it. But he's 2 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you go to. You need to hook up with Steve on his Facebook page. You can find out information about that. And you can go to Turpin Game Calls on the website and see all the different things. And we'll be talking to Steve throughout the show. He's going to stick around. Have a lot of fun. Can't wait. So let's take our first break of the morning. Send us out. We'll be right back. We'll be right back without this.